Hello everyone, good morning and assalamu alaikum dear students. I hope you all are well and fine. You are staying safe at home, you're washing your hands, you're drinking water and you're protecting yourself from COVID-19. So, I welcome you back to the class. In this class, we would learn some of the new things about computer. What are the things? Let's begin. Dear students, up till now we have completed two of the chapters. Chapter number 1, Story of Computer, in which we have learned the generations of the computer. Okay, there were 5 generations of the computer. Then we started our chapter number 2. In our chapter number 2, we have classified the computer. The name of the chapter was Classification of Computer, and we had classified the computer according to their size into 4 different types: microcomputers, mini computers, mainframe computers, and supercomputers. Now we will start another chapter, and that is working of computer. We have seen the generations of the computer. We have seen the types of computer according to their size. Now how do the computers work, we will learn in this chapter. Okay, so the new chapter which we are going to start is working of computer. This is our chapter number 3 and it is on page number 8. So students, before starting our chapter and going towards the depth of our chapter, that how computer works, let's see some of the easy questions so they will help us. Number 1, what is computer? Everybody know, and you have been taught since your class 3, I guess 2, that it's an electronic device. It works with electricity. Okay, this is very easy question. But what kind of task does it perform? It can be used for many kinds of tasks, such as writing. Either you are writing the book, you are writing a note, you are writing a letter, application, whatever. Okay, so computers are used for writing, printing. Whatever we have written, or the work we have done, or any picture, so we can print them out with the help of computer. Solving mathematical problems. Okay, mathematical problems can be solved. Usually we use calculators, but much more problems can be solved by using computer. Playing games. It is also used for entertainment. Helping in publication. If we have written a book and we want that book to be published, so that would be published by computer. So helping in publication. Making movies. Okay, again we have learned in our previous chapter that animation is done in the movies or the simple movies there, whatever kind of movies there, that would be made in computer. Record keeping of a business. Okay, you must have seen in the banks that they keep all of their record in computers. So record keeping of a business. Communication, for example email. We use many of the social applications through internet, and previously internet was only used in computers. Now it is available in mobile phones as well, but so computer, we can say it is a major mean of communication as well. Okay, so these are the questions which we should know. Now see, computer can write, print, solve the problems. We can play the games on computer. It helps us in publication, making movies, record keeping of a business, and communication. Number of the tasks have been done by computer. Okay, so how these all kind of tasks are done in computer? So let's see. It's really amazing to see that how a computer can do all these jobs. So here we can see that there is a glass of orange juice. If we want this orange juice, is it available in the same form? Not at all. It has to be made by a process, and this process will include some of the steps. For example, if you want orange juice, there must be orange. Okay, so these orange slices will be put into the machine. So what we have given to the machine, we have given the slices of orange. So this gonna be the input. Then this machine will process it and will change the slices of orange into liquid form. Okay, then we can extract it and we can just pour it in the glass. And this is our output. This is the thing which we wanted. Okay, but this is made by a process, and this process includes some of the steps. Likewise, if we talk about computer, so computer does a lot of tasks, as we have discussed on previous slide, that printing, writing, communication, playing games, record keeping of a business. Okay, so all these tasks are done by a process. What is this process? This is a process which includes four steps. Number 1, input. Number 2, process. Number 3, storage. And number 4, output. What we want? We want output. But this output cannot be taken directly. It has to go through some of the changes or a process or a track. Okay, and that is input, process, storage, and output. Here input, process, and output, there is no storage, because here we are talking about the juicer machine and it does not have any memory. Okay, but we can store many of the things or data in our computer, so there is an additional option. It's an additional, you can say, that step in the working of computer, and that is storage. Okay, so input, process, storage, and output, from which we will learn these two in today's class, input and process, and storage and output will be learned in the next class. So get ready. So students, here you can see that here is a digital camera, here's a computer and printer. Now this digital camera will be used as an input device. For example, it is snapping, there's a flash. Okay, it is snapping the picture. That picture will be in the computer for the process. Okay, in the computer that picture will be processed, and through printer this picture will be taken out. So from here the picture was captured, from here the picture was taken out. Okay, this was input and this was output. Now, as we have learned on previous slide, that computer works on 4 of the steps, including input, process, storage, and output. So let's add on here another step, and that is storage. Why we have kept it here? Because once the camera has captured the picture, it is being processed in the computer. It is taken out by the printer. But once it is taken out by the printer, it is still there in the memory and the storage of computer until we delete it. Okay, once we have taken out, it doesn't mean that it is removed from the file, it is removed from the storage of the computer, not at all. Okay, once the data has been given, that will be stored in storage. That would be stored as a memory. Okay, once we have taken out, it is still there in the computer until we delete it. So here are 4 of the process: input, process, storage, and output. Students, what is the name of our chapter? The name of the chapter is Working of Computer. So in the working of computer, there are 4 different steps, including input, process, storage, and output. Let's begin the input. Here the word in means getting in of something. Okay, in indicates we are giving something to the computer. What kind of things we can give, and what is the input? It's the first step. It means to enter data or instruction into the computer. For example, here I have chosen a picture of keyboard, so you can see the type of data as, what is data? Data is a collection of facts. They may be alphabets, number, symbols, and pictures. Okay, now you can see on our keyboard there are the alphabets, there are the functional keys, there are the numeric keys. Number means number keys, okay, the keys on which digits are written. Okay, so many kind of data. Our data can be alphabets, numbers, symbols, or pictures. So it is the input. Okay, whatever we are giving to the computer or entering data or instruction into the computer, that is the input. And what is data? Data is a collection of facts, and these facts can be alphabets, numbers, symbols, picture. From keyboard you can see the alphabets, numbers, symbols. And on previous slide, remember, we have taken camera as an example. That camera was capturing picture, so that camera was also input device. So we can give a number of data to the computer, and that would be entered to the computer for the next step, and that is process. So as we have learned what is input, so let's take some of the examples of input devices. These all are the input devices. You know, keyboard, mouse, joystick, game controller, joystick, microphone, camera, touch screen, accelerometer. Accelerometer is used to tell the speed. Okay, gyroscope is used to tell the direction. GPS, global positioning system, from which you can find any of the location. Okay, we enter the location, it means that is the input device. A stylus is a pen which is used on the touch screens. Okay, and it has the sensors here, so it can be detected on the touch screen. Motion controller has a remote controller. Okay, now these are some of the examples of input devices. So here the first step is completed. Now we will go to the second step. Here is the second step of our computer working, and that is process. What is process? It is the second step. It means to convert data into more useful form called information. Remember, in input what we have given? We have given data to the computer. Now that data would be processed, or it would be converted into more useful form so it can be understood by the system. Okay, and this useful form of the data is called information. CPU is used for processing data. Which device is used to processing data, to process data? That is CPU. CPU is something that looks simple from outside, but it is not. It receives data from input devices as we have discussed. Now what does it do? It processes the data and stores the result in internal memory. So how it is happening? So students, as I told you that CPU is something that looks simple from outside, but it is not. Okay, CPU does a lot of tasks at the same time. As our brain doesn't occupy the whole space in our body, CPU doesn't occupy the whole space on the table, but still it is collecting different type of data at a time, and it is converting it into more useful form, that is information. So you can see, if you are writing, if you are typing, all the words are going into the CPU, and CPU is converting this data into more useful form, that is information. Then it appears on our screen. So it is not as simple as we think. If we see the CPU from inside, it is more complicated structure. It is the main part of the computer. It, it is the primary component of our computer, and it has the memory and it has control unit. As input devices were keyboard, mouse, game controller, joystick. But when we talk about the process, that is the second step of working of computer, that is done only in CPU, central processing unit. It is the processing unit, so the process is happening in CPU always. Okay, so once the thing is given to the computer, that data, that in the data which we have taken, which the computer has taken in the form of input, that would be converted into more useful form, and that more useful form will be known as information. Okay, that information will be processed into the computer or CPU. Okay, so this was our second step. Now how the storage is done and what kind of devices are storage devices and how we get the output and what are the output devices, we shall discuss in the next class. So thank you so much for your time. What you have to do, you have to read the chapter thoroughly, you have to underline the lines, important lines, you have to highlight the important lines. Okay, and in this chapter we have learned so many easy things which maybe you already know, but you have to revise them from your book as well. Okay, so thank you so much. Inshallah we shall meet in the next class. Take care.